So, hey guys, Bats here, and today we are back with another video. Now, this is like the fucking 10th time I've had to record this video because something fucks up every time I try to record it. So, I really hope it doesn't fuck up this time, or I don't fuck something up, but here we go. So, we're finally back with another drug story, doing the Robo 30 series, about the first time I got Robo 30s. Now, this isn't like really like a very coherent story, and it kind of like jumbles a little bit, but I'm gonna do my best with it. So where we left off, it was the end of the last day. I had just gone through a whole day of tripping. I thought I was gonna die, didn't die, but my cousin came home, somehow didn't notice that I was fucked up, and went to bed. And so now I wasn't gonna be bothered the rest of the night, so of course, to celebrate that, it was time to go get fucked up. So I go into the studio room which I was, at the time I was kind of going back and forth in between two rooms. I had this little studio room set up where where I had my computer and my whole setup where I would make music and videos and play games and shit and just hang out in there. And then I would usually just go and sleep in my bedroom. And so I was chilling in there. I downed 500 milligrams of freebase, and then I'm playing Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, playing Search and Destroy while I'm waiting for the come up, and I was just doing fucking terrible. I was just so bad at the game at this point, and I just didn't care. Usually, with competitive games, I get really competitive and just get pissed off if I'm not doing well and scream at people and shit. But when I'm on DXM, I really don't give a shit. I'm just here to have fun. I'm just playing games, just pressing buttons, just watching shit move on the screen, looking at the cool visuals. I don't give a shit about the game. But of course, other people that are playing the game with me, of course I'm playing a competitive mode too, they fucking care, and they get super pissed off when you don't do well. And, they were getting very upset with me, and so I decided to turn on my voice chat and, talk to them or whatever, but that was a terrible idea, because as soon as I fucking did, everybody, dog piles on me and just starts shitting on me, because, I don't know, people, when you have kind of a high-pitched, annoying voice in Call of Duty, you are a target. People will fucking shit on you. It doesn't matter. They will fuck you up in there. Those fucking Call of Duty lobbies are brutal, man. They will destroy you, but that shit makes you a man. You gotta learn how to take that shit. But anyway, of course, because I'm on DXM, I don't really care that, everybody's, shitting on me or whatever. So eventually, after a couple of games, it's just very, very apparent that I'm in no state to be playing a game. So I just get off and I go and I lay in the cot that was in the back of the studio room, and I'm just chilling in there, just listening to music, doing my usual thing. And at this point, I had spent so much time on DXM. I was so comfortable being in the Dextraverse. That was literally, at that point, that was my home. And at that point, I never wanted to leave. I never wanted to come down. I was perfectly fine with just being on DXM the rest of my life. And that, if I could do it, I probably would have. But, at this point, I had basically just moved into the Dextraverse and became an entity that, people meet on DXM. People meet, say they meet entities and talk to them. At that point, I was one of those motherfuckers. I wasn't meeting them anymore. I was one. I had officially graduated to a inhabitant of the Dextraverse. I lived there. So, I was just chilling there, doing my usual thing, bumping music, vibing. And one of the few, last, interesting, weird things that I remember happening, is that, has never really happened to me again, is I thought I was in, because, of course, I talked about how I have, two rooms that I, go between, or that I did, and, I've also talked about how sometimes it feels like you could see through your eyes when you have them closed, and, because your brain, it's not getting any visual information, so it just fills it in with whatever it, is used to, and whatever it, thinks, wherever it thinks it is. But the thing is because I guess because I'm, always going between two rooms, and I'm laying, and there's a bed in both rooms, and sometimes I sleep in, one or the other room, it couldn't, my brain couldn't distinguish which room it was actually in, so it would just change between the two. Sometimes it would think I was in one room, sometimes it would think I was in the other, without me even, ever moving or getting up to change rooms. It was like the bed was just teleporting into a different room, and I didn't want to open my eyes to find out which room I was in. I felt like that was cheating, so I was trying to just, guess, and I guess by doing that, because I was, trying to guess which one I was in, whichever one I guess I was in is the one that my brain would think I was in, and then that's what I would see. And that is another thing, is, I definitely think that sometimes what you think can, it can change the visuals of your like DXM trip, like because I've had trips where I'm like I've been like watching a show or playing a game and I'm thinking about that, and then I see like characters from that game or something like floating around in there. So like your visual, like whatever you're thinking about can definitely change the visuals sometimes. And I think that's what was happening there. But it was a very interesting thing. And then basically for like the rest of the night, I was just listening to music. Sometimes I would like watch YouTube videos, and I would watch like internet mystery videos or like scary videos or some shit like that. Just like well edited, put together like video essays. I love videos like that, or like, you know, video game essays, just whatever is like whatever good shit I could find on there. Or sometimes I would watch this guy Briz. He does like commentary videos, and he's hilarious. He like makes fun of, he's kind of like a, you know, one of those YouTubers that like makes fun of cringe stuff, but he does it in a way where he's like always rhyming and like shit, and it's just really funny. Shout out to that guy. Go watch that guy. He's fucking hilarious. But, you know, so I just like watch videos like that. And I was also at this point, my one of my friends on Discord who got me the Robo 30s, he had also gotten into DXM and he was doing it. And he was also like trying out higher doses, and so he was like talking to me about what he was seeing and whatever throughout his trip, and we were like talking about shit. And you know, eventually he decides to like close his eyes and, you know, just enjoy the trip. And so we stopped talking, and I'd do the same. And basically there was nothing else interesting that really happened this night. And, you know, from this point forward, most of my trips ended up being kind of similar, because, you know, DXM is it's a drug where you don't move much or really do anything or, like, hang out with people, so nothing interesting really happens. It's just the same stuff over and over. But the problem, like, the thing is that's, like, it's just so good that you don't want to stop doing it. But anyway, so eventually the morning comes along, and it is now the weekend, which means my cousin doesn't have to go to work, which means he's going to be home all day. I didn't really think about that, and that was my downfall. That's how I kind of got fucked, but, you know, it wasn't too bad. So, you know, eventually it's morning, and I'm kind of hungry, so I decided to go out and get some cereal, but I couldn't fucking walk. I was, like, robo-walking and shit and falling into walls, and, you know, of course, that's loud as fuck, and eventually he, like, realizes that I'm, like, fucked up and, like, tripped balls, and so, you know, he, like, just, like, sits me down, and this wasn't the first time I got caught on DXM, and, you know, it was, like, it was kind of becoming, like, a pattern that every time he caught me, I was on DXM, and, you know, he was, like, trying to, like, just figure it out, and just, like, understand why I was doing it, and, like, try and explain to me how dangerous it was, and I would try to explain back to him how, like, I do my research with this shit, and I don't, like, and I know exactly how much I'm taking, and I know what it is, and, like, I'm not gonna, like, fucking hurt myself, but then it's, like, but I'm also, like, just ignoring my entire life to do DXM, which isn't good, but, you know, so, I mean, it came to the point where it's, like, you know, you can't really, like, stop me from doing it. Like, if I want to do it, I'm gonna find a way to do it, but, you know, it's just, yeah, I don't know, but he definitely wasn't happy about that, and, I don't remember entirely what happened, but I think he went through a lot of my shit and found a lot of my, like, drug shit, but I know he didn't find the Robo 30s, because I told him I didn't have any more, and I had it in a place, I don't remember where, but it was a good fucking spot, and he never found it, and so I did have the rest of the Robo 30s, which I ended up doing, probably, I think it was the same night that I ended up doing that, and, oh, just dropped, but, you know, but yeah, I didn't have much left, like 750 milligrams or something, and it was a pretty, like, normal trip, but yeah, after that, I didn't have any more Robo 30s, and it was probably, like, early December at this point, and I don't remember how, but I ended up getting another bottle, and then I was kind of doing the same thing, where it was, like, I started with 500, and then I moved up to, like, 750, and then I think it was, like, 800 or 850, maybe, and then it was a gram, and then that's when the throwing up a gram of DXM on Christmas video happened, and I was really bummed out about that, because it ruined my entire Christmas, but of course the homie came through and got me another bottle of Robo 30s, because I was bummed out about that, but then I tried to take a gram of DXM again, because I really wanted to do a gram. It was like a milestone for me to have a 1 gram 4th plat Robo 30 trip, but my body just couldn't handle it, so I threw up again. And of course, that made me really depressed. I threw up all over my blanket because I tried to hold it in, and it just wasn't happening. Because at this point, like, I had been doing DXM a lot, and I felt like I was very experienced, so I thought, like, I should be able to handle a gram. But the thing is, I'm a small person. My body just couldn't fucking handle a gram of freebase, because a gram of freebase is basically, like, 1,300 milligrams of, like, HBr. And, like, my body, I'm too small, I can't handle that much. Like, I couldn't, at that point with my tolerance, I could not handle that much DXM. If I did the correct math and, like, knew what I was doing, then I could have done, like, about 850, 900 milligrams, and that would have been equivalent to a gram of HBr, and I probably could have maybe handled that, and then I would have been fine. But I was just a dumbass and fucking, you know, just assuming that 1 gram of freebase meant 1 gram of HBr is the same thing. It's not. But, you know, so at that point I was really bummed out about that, but I had more Robo 30s, so I took more, of course. I didn't try to take a gram again. I think the farthest I ever went was like 800 or something, which is about the same when you do the math, but, you know, and, you know, I just kind of, throughout, like, you know, I just finished that bottle of Robo 30s out, and, you know, after that, I couldn't get Robo 30s anymore, so I went back to Delsum. But at this point, I was very mentally addicted to DXM. So this is probably going to be a different series that I'll start at some point. But basically, every day I was going to the local grocery store and stealing at least a bottle of Delsum, sometimes as much as I could carry, just so I wouldn't have to go back for a while. And then I'd go home, I'd lock myself in my room, and I'd do DXM, and I'd be fucked up all day. And I never came down for like multiple months where I was just completely fucking plastered. And just, like, you know, so, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, we'll talk about that at a later date, because this video is getting a little bit long, and I've kind of concluded what I wanted to talk about with Robo 30s and when I had them before. We will talk about Robo 30s again, because I did get Robo 30s again recently, and I'll probably be doing them again at some point in the near future. So we'll talk about that, but that's all I have for today, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a good day. Make sure to leave a like to show support, and leave comments down below. I read all your guys' comments, and I try to respond to them all. And if you want to show even more support for the channel, then go ahead and subscribe. It would be great if we could get to 1,000 subscribers. That would be fucking awesome. I've always wanted to do YouTube, but I never thought I would get anywhere, so thank you guys a lot for that. And yeah, I'm not gonna ramble on anymore, so yeah, hope you guys have a good day. Stay zooted, stay lifted. Peace.
I can't change no matter how hard I try. Is it another phase, or will I be lost for life? I don't know why I'm losing all control. Lately I haven't felt whole, like I haven't been at home. And I can't change no matter how much I want. Say that it's all good, but it's really just a front. I don't feel the pain anymore, I just feel numb. Recently my mind is warm,